What's up, everybody? Welcome to Kinda Funny Games Daily for Thursday, March 24th, 2022. I'm one of your hosts, Greg Miller, alongside Forbes 30 Under 30, a.k.a. the second best baby blues in San Francisco, a.k.a. the verified one at Tim Geddes.
Let Tim host. Greg, yesterday I saw you late into the night. I saw a post on your Twitter of you with an IV in your arm. That's with right. a horror story about you getting food poisoning, Jen having to leave GDC to go take care of you and all this stuff. And I was shocked. I was concerned. I was worried about your health and safety, all of that stuff. But the biggest mind blower to me was the fact that I have known you very closely for over a decade at this point.
That's right.
And I don't think that in that time, especially as time has went on, a major thing happens to you that I don't know until I find out on Twitter. And it was weird. I was like, holy shit, Greg has a life that I don't know about. And all of a sudden, boom, millions of people get to see you with an IV stick in your arm. It was a weird moment that took me back, Greg. I was like, whoa.
Well, for me, it was just one of those things of I like the idea that like Kinda Funny's gotten to the point that it's big enough that you don't know everything that happens. Because there was that, I'm up in the morning and I am not doing well. And but I kept having, I kept doing the Greg Miller thing of like, I'm going to be able to, I'll pull this together. I'll pull this together. And when I woke up at 7 or whatever, I was like, I am not pulling this together. And so it was I text Tamor and I'm like, hey, like I look at the calendar and of course, like blessings at GDC, you had a call or something you were on or doing some show. Like it was like, I start running through the Rolodex of like, who can I get to host this show if I'm down? Because, of course, I made the joke that Andy was going to build and he was going to do it. And I hit Andy up the day before because Kevin was worried that Andy wasn't really going to do it. And Andy was like, yeah, I'm not confident in getting the stories. And I was like, all right, fine. He's like, I can host, but I don't want to do it. I'm like, all right, fine, I can do that. So I hit up Tam and I'm like, can you do it? But then I also hit up Mike and I was like, hey, I'm definitely not. I might have actually said, I think I might be able to make the stream. I forget, but I'm like, I'm probably not going to make anything. If worst case, can you do? And that time Tam had gotten back. But I had the same thought of like, at some point when it was all done and I looked at the calendar and it was totally solidified and taken care of, I was like, man, I didn't even have to talk to Tim about this. I didn't even have to hit up Tim about this.
Like last night, I was like texting you and I was trying to text you a version of the story I just told of like my shock. And I was like, there's no tone over text that makes sense. So I was like, I'm just going to talk to him on Games Daily. If I see him on Games Daily, Kevin and I were concerned, man. It was down to the moment. No, Greg's normally in here 10 minutes before, ready to go. Everything's good. And he was just not here. We're like, is he dead?
I like to make a big entrance. You know how it goes.
Now here's the thing, Greg. The snakes are everywhere, right? The snakes are, you got it. You got it quick. Right. Yeah, but I got hit up by Mike this morning, and there's been this whole thing about Bless taking back the night. I'm gonna take back the night. He even tweeted 6 hours ago. I saw
took back the night.
Oh, so guess who's not on stream today?
Blessing Eddie.
So we're scrambling, trying to figure out what do we do, and everyone's off doing something else. I'm like, so guess what, guys? I'm streaming after this. It's gonna be fun. Me and Mike hanging out doing some bullshit.
Since when?
Since like 10 minutes ago.
Oh, okay. Because Mike went out of his way to DM me to tell me what the stream after this is going to be, and it wasn't that.
Yeah, I think that was his like
GTA with me.
Yeah,
that motherfucker.
I think that's if towards the back end of the stream thing.
Okay.
Mike didn't want to ask me. You know what I mean? He's like, no, I don't want to burden you. I'm like, Mike, you got me. Don't even trip, bro.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's pandemonium here. Yeah, you can open some Pokemon cards?
I don't know. We'll see what we want to do.
It'll
be fun. We'll hang out.
Kevin, what are you eating? I gotta know that. You're eating Starbucks. What is that? That's the loaf? One of the loaves there?
Banana walnut.
Nice. Mm-hmm. Kevin, what are you eating?
I was eating a little egg and some bacon. I just finished. It's so good.
All right. Well, if we're all just enjoying a sweet little treat, I'm gonna have a saltine if you don't mind.
Saltine.
They are dry. Everybody.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But they give you what you need, apparently, salt. And keep you alive. It's dry. It's a longer bit it's a bit longer than I thought it would be.
Greg's going through it in so many ways right now.
I'm hydrating the saltine to swallow it.
Mm-hmm. While he's getting a little hydrated, I can tell you that today's stories include the Halo series premiere reviews are in, WWE Sticking with 2K, and you can buy Cal Kestis' lightsaber. Isn't that right, Greg?
That's right, Tim. We're going to talk about all that and more because this is Kinda Funny Games Daily. Each and every weekday on a variety of platforms, we run you through the nerdy video game news you need to know about. If you like that, be part of the show on patreon.com/kindafunnygames. Over on patreon.com/kindafunnygames, you can write in with your questions, your comments, your concerns about the daily news of the video game world. And of course, you can get the show ad-free. You get it with the exclusive post-show we do. You can get your name read as a Patreon producer. You can watch us record shows like the XCast, PS I Love You, and the Gamescast Live when embargoes permit. You can keep the lights and mics on, all on patreon.com/kindafunnygames. However, if you have no bucks tossed our way, it's no big deal. You can support us for a number of different free ways. Number one, why not use that creator code KindaFunny on the Epic Creator Code Generator Store? When you're on the Epic Game Store, put in the creator code KindaFunny. If you're not on a PC, of course, when you're playing Fortnite, Rocket League, or that there Fall Guys, you can use it on your console as well and help us out. Just use your creator code KindaFunny. Of course, for this show, you can watch us record it live on twitch.tv/kindafunnygames, just like JMacGator922 is, Lenart_NLR, and PJ Julian R. If you're watching live, you have a special job. Go to kindafunny.com/you're wrong and tell us what we screw up as we screw it up so we can set the record straight for everybody watching later on youtube.com/kindafunnygames, roosterteeth.com, and listening on podcast services around the globe each and every weekday. Housekeeping for you. In the same way, Mike wrote in today to say, hey, here's what the stream's going to be. And then, of course, changed it and didn't bother to tell me. He didn't think that'd be important. No big deal. I'm not mad at all. Roger used a little thing we call housekeeping to write in. He wrote this little one for you. Housekeeping, he says, the Kinda Funny TikTok continues to put out some bangers. Today, you can find a horrifying clip of Greg trying to desperately scan his face into WWE 2K22. You can get that at tiktok.com/@KindaFunnyGames. Remember, we are posting daily, and they're your highlights, their reviews, they're everything that you love from Kinda Funny. And while you're there, check out my Memoir Blue review that I put up yesterday. Well, Roger put it up. I was dead, obviously. But that went up yesterday, talking about the game from Annapurna that's coming out today, Memoir Blue. Mm-hmm. Thank you to our Patreon producers, Gordon McGuire, Fargo, Brady, and Pransky. Today, we're brought to you by Cuts Clothing, Lumen Skin, and Honey, but I'll tell you about that later. For now, let's begin the show with what is and forever will be the Roper Report. Time for some news. 7 items on the Roper Report.
A baker's dozen.
Number one, ladies and gentlemen, critics have seen the old Halo series premiere in episode 2 of the Halo series over on Paramount Plus. We have your review roundup. We'll start over on Metacritic. And I don't, Tim, you and me well-versed in video games. All right, let me dial this back. I'm well-versed in video games. I'm not, this isn't an insult. I swear I'm going somewhere with it. I'm well-versed in the video game world, not so much the entertainment world. You well-versed in video games and the entertainment world. So I went over to Metacritic today, saw it had a 60, the Halo series. I was like, all right. So I started clicking on reviews. A lot of reviews don't have numbers or ratings or anything. I don't know where they're getting because they're like, because I have in here the Hollywood Reporter, which I couldn't find any kind of score on. But then they still gave like a numerical score to the Hollywood Reporter. How's that happen? What's up? With
I don't know. I don't know about that. Yeah, the whole Metacritic thing kind of confuses me a lot, and it doesn't seem that useful. That and Rotten Tomatoes and all that, it's more of just like like everything. It's just kind of an idea of a thing. It's not like let's really kind of try to nail this in, because like all the scales they're not compatible.
Sure,
they're not equal.
Yeah,
so it becomes a disaster so quickly.
Well, then throw it out. Believe it if you want to. Whatever. Metacritic is a 60 over on the Metacritic. Metacritic is a 60 for Halo the series. I'm getting there. You know what I mean? I was in bed all day. IGN gave it a 7. Jesse Sheeding says, given how integral the massive battles between humanity and the Covenant are to the appeal of the Halo franchise, the lackluster action in the Halo premiere is cause for concern. However, the series gets enough else right in its first outing to make up for that shortcoming. As much as the premiere focuses on capturing the iconic weapons and technology from the games, it also shows a willingness to move its story in dramatically different directions. This is hardly a one-to-one adaptation of the games, but that's really the show's biggest selling point right now. Over at EW, that's Entertainment Weekly if you're not in the know, it got a C-. Darren Franich wrote, necessary to point out that I played 3 Halo games to story completion and spent a few hundred hours in the mid-2000s in multiplayer matches. This relatively moderate level of awareness probably makes me the show's absolute worst demographic. The story variously tilts towards canonical completionists and confused newbies, with dialogue variously impenetrable and explanatory. I want to stress that these 2 episodes basically comprise a prologue to multiple intrigues. The 9-episode first season could either speed up from here or slow to a crawl. Haas suggests a chaotic, vengeful counterpart to Shriver's ramrod, straight tough guy, but it's not clear how central their dynamic will be. And then over at the Hollywood Reporter, like I said, I couldn't find a score on it. Daniel Feinberg wrote though, and maybe Halo does play as more exciting and specific if you have an internal checklist of the game elements, weapon types, helpful acquisitions, character of planetary illusions. You're looking to have acknowledged. But for those of us who don't necessarily crave or appreciate those things, Halo is a generic story, limitedly engaging characters, and a clearly high special effects budget that yields respectable but unremarkable results. In the absence of prior attachment, that's insignificant for ongoing interest. So some rough reviews out there for this one, Tim. I know tomorrow you are assembling a KindaFunny crew to do reactions to this. Have you watched these episodes? Have you seen it yet?
No, I actually really dropped the ball on this, and I'm usually pretty good with the scheduling all the entertainment stuff, but I totally thought that it was coming out tonight and that we were going to review it tomorrow. So we should have been recording the review today. So I apologize. It will be a day late. But I'm excited to give it a shot. I am a little bit let down by the kind of cadence the tone that these
the general malaise.
Yes, exactly. Like all the reviews aren't what I wish that they could possibly be, which is something really special. Although that's rough because I think that at the end of the day, Halo is a just fairly generic sci-fi story. So that's where it gets hard when it comes to video game translations to movies and shows. We've been talking about this a lot, but like there are so many things that make the game special that are untranslatable to movies. And I think that we saw that with the Uncharted series, where so much of what makes Uncharted special is the 30 hours of little tiny quips in the background between Sully and Drake that you can't really turn into a movie or a show that way because you just don't have the time, and it comes off weird, and movies are just made differently. There's like a pace to them that video games don't have. And I think with Resident Evil, we see this a lot too, where Resident Evil works with like its corny B zombie story because that's the point, and it's fun to play through that. Whereas translating it back to movie, now all of a sudden it's competing with other zombie movies, right? Sure. So with this, it's like I think that it's in a really tough spot because Halo is such a prestige video game that people know so much about, but even people that know a lot about aren't going to know all of this. Like I think it was Darren Frenick here that you were reading from saying that like he's played a lot of the games and is well equipped with Halo knowledge, but it's still not enough for the dense stuff that they're getting into here. And it kind of hits that point of like, I don't know that this series is going to entirely please anybody. And that's kind of the biggest bummer of it all, you know, is that like its audience is everyone and no one at the same time. And I think that it's going to be caught there. Whereas if out the gate, the episode 1 and 2 reviews were on the 9 or 10 side of things, I think that it could be different where it's like, oh, cool, this is a fun sci-fi show if you don't know Halo, or hey, this is a fun Halo show if you're just kind of into sci-fi, but for sure, or into just streaming and into watching new like tentpole TV shows. But I think that Paramount Plus has continued to kind of struggle to find its identity, especially as it's transitioned from what it used to be. I forget the name of it, but the CBS All Access, that kind of being the home of Star Trek and all of that. Yeah. As it transitioned here, it's like Halo, there's a lot of money being put into this, a lot. And they are kind of riding on it being a big series for them to counter programming, like things like we see on Disney Plus with the Marvel shows and Star Wars shows, like things that we see even on Peacock where they have the ability to have like WWE and have these like big draws to come in. Right now, Paramount kind of just has Star Trek, and I guarantee they want more than that. Go for
100%. Do me a favor, Tim. Turn all of your lights green, and I'm going to do the same thing, all right? Echo, turn the den lights green. Put some orange in there. All right, I see what you're doing. You're doing, well, this
is my X-Cast look.
Yeah, exactly. So, ladies and gentlemen, we open the summoning circle, and if we say Snowbike Mike 3 times, I think he'll appear. Snowbike Mike. Snowbike Mike. Snowbike Mike.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your guy, Snowbike Mike from the KindaFunny Xcast. How's everybody doing today?
We are excellent, Snowbike Mike. How are you?
I'm wonderful, Greg. It's nice to see your smiling face, and I hear you're talking about Spartan 117, Master Chief, so I had to jump in the conversation.
Mike, have you watched Halo, the series premiere?
I did watch it late last night, and I actually watched it with a good friend of mine one Nick Scarpino watched it with me as well. So I have a total Halo newbie opinion as well with Nick Scarpino. So it's kind of interesting to see.
All right, well, hit us off. What did you think? Because you are, of course, Mr. Halo.
Yeah, but don't spoil too much because we still got to do the screencast. So just give them a little teasy tease.
We got a screencast. So at Snowbike Mike, this is what I thought. I thought it was good. I think the first 20 minutes was exactly what I wanted from Halo as a television show. I was really excited to see, the Spartans, to see the Covenant, to see the action. Really was bombastic and cool. I think towards the end there, we started to dive into the story, and I wasn't connecting with that. I wasn't really vibing with what I was seeing. I did like some of the characters that we saw, some notable names. A couple of moments were like, oh, okay, this is very interesting. But I left going, you know what, Greg? I'm not wishing it was next Thursday right now, right? And I think that's what I'm looking for. I'm on the hunt for that next big Game of Thrones type experience where we got to be there next week. And this, unfortunately, isn't. This is just middle of the road. This is good. This is fine. I'll be back next week, but I'm not, overly excited to be there. So that's my first take. On the opposite side, Nick Scarpino, he's one of the biggest critics of all these shows and stuff. He had very similar thoughts of, you know what, this is good, not great, but he actually liked it more than I thought he would. He was speaking positively of it while we were watching it and at the end of it all. But at the same time, like, this isn't going to bring Nick Scarpino back next week. He'll forget about it unless I ask him to watch it with me again. But positive remarks from Nick, at least at the beginning of it all here.
And also before, the popular opinion of it not being good was out there. Now that Nick knows that, we'll see what he says on the screencast tomorrow.
Exactly.
Thank you, Mike.
Thanks for having me on.
Always a pleasure. You take care, all right? Get ready to stream some stuff with Tim. I remember you went out of your way to text me that you were gonna stream with Kevin, and then I get here. It turns out no, you're gonna stream with Tim. I would look like a fucking horse's ass if I get to the end. I read the fucking shit you told me to say, and then you're like, no, it's actually not what's happening.
Mike, it's cool. I took my PlayStation 5 back upstairs, so we're good.
Oh, sounds great.
I love you so much, Mike.
Tim,
number 2 on the Roper Report, and Kevin, I'm gonna need you for this one, big dog. All right, number two, Kevin. Fortnite is sticking with no build mode for a while. This is Ryan Dinsdale over at IGN, who will make another appearance on this very episode of KindaFunny Games Daily. Fortnite data miners have seemingly found confirmation that the game's limited time no build mode is here to stay. Building was removed from Fortnite's default mode earlier this week as its Chapter 3 Season 2 began, but new leaks suggest that developer Epic Games plans to include it later as a separate game mode. The HypeX Twitter account, a popular Fortnite news feed, claimed that data mining shows that players will have the option to choose between Fortnite's usual building-enabled Battle Royale or its no-build mode when the current season ends. This is further backed up by apparent loading screen tips that say, quote, in modes with building enabled, end quote. Another popular Fortnite leak account, TBR, has also shown off what appear to be menu graphics for the new mode. Oh, now it's changed again. There's a typo in Ryan's story here. You hate to see it. ThiaBR tweet also claims that no build mode will be available in solo, duos, trios, and squads. Both of these accounts have shared leaks in the past that proved to be accurate, but Epic Games is yet to give any official confirmation on whether or not the new mode will be sticking around. Fortnite seasons usually last around 10 weeks, meaning it could be May before players find out for sure. Kevin, Koella, you and Joey out there tearing it up. Playing Fortnite all the time.
Yeah.
First off, what's your review of no build mode? I haven't heard your actual
I'm loving
opinion.
it. So as you may have heard, me and Joey actually always play with no build mode in our hearts. We'll build ramps to get over hills and stuff, and only in the most dire situations. But we're not throwing down these buildings or even a wall to protect ourselves from bullets. So I think this is awesome. We've been having a blast. The biggest thing, they've introduced a lot of different movement mechanics that feel really good. Like now there's a run feature, and you get an overshield that auto regenerates whenever you're not getting shot, right?
Sure.
So those things have been nice, and they added mantling, which feels really good, and you can get basically, if you're smart about stuff, it has taken a little getting used to, but I think it feels really good. They kind of also changed, at least for the PlayStation 5, the POV looks a little bit tighter, and I'm liking that a lot too. I'm really digging. For me, the biggest thing that the no building is doing is people are down to try it again. Because, we had Barrett and Nick. Was it Tuesday night? Yeah, Tuesday night.
This is the one where you guys weren't gonna stop playing until you got a win,
right?
And then at midnight, Nick was like, "I'm just going to bed."
Yeah, that was right. That was right. But we played. I mean, like solid 3 hours, just having fun. We weren't streaming or anything, and like that's a huge benefit, you know. Like,
of course,
when we get the guys to come out for Fortnite? Never.
Yeah, I'm anxious to try it. It's just been a busy then sick week. But it's got me interested in going back. Not that the building was what stopped me before, but I do think it's what kept, us from winning a lot.
Well,
we would win the rare game, but it was also the thing of like, all right, well, you run up and they're building. They're pros. They're gonna kill us.
Yeah, they're gonna kill us. Yeah. I'm very because I think they said they in the game they've made some allusions to maybe they're bringing back building next week. Maybe not. They've said at least I remember hearing that it was going to be 9 days of no building, which is cool. But I really hope, one, the mechanics stick around, and two, I really would like the no building to stick around for a little while longer. So we'll see.
If this is to be believed, right, that eventually they're going to have options in there, would you just strictly play in no build mode?
I mean, that depends on how populated things are. If we're playing no build mode and realize oh man, it's all bots, then I think we'd have to go back to the normal mode.
But what if you're winning all the time?
I mean, then they're not bots, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Then they're humans. Tim, could Fortnite do anything to get you involved?
I do think that the no build mode is the most enticing thing they possibly could have done. It's just, multiplayer games aren't really my jam. And on top of that, I could never wrap my head around the Fortnite stuff, especially with the building. It just seemed like too much. And I'm a simple dude, Yeah. So I don't know, but I gotta say I am a little jealous when I hear that these late night things are popping off. There's some FOMO going on. So, and I know that I can join at any time, but then I actually have to do something. Then I'd have FOMO for my bed.
Sure, fair enough. That's fair enough. I mean, you do have 4 of us right here.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, you could walk over there. You could turn on. You'd update your Fortnite.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
And then rather than do Pokemon cards or whatever was going to happen with GTA Online, that's not happening.
You could do both.
We could. Me and Mike did specifically have a conversation about not doing Fortnite again, just because we've been doing it a lot. But hates it.
Fuck Mike. I get you. I'm all in.
I mean, I'm not against it. I'm down. What's this? Can I play on PS5?
You can play on anything you want. You want to play on the Switch? You want to play on the... No, I'm serious.
Ladies and gentlemen, what I'd like to do is I'd like to take you to a channel here, because it's rare that I want to tell Snowbike Mike, obviously, one of the lights in my life, one of the best parts of KindaFunny. But it's rare that I want to tell him to stop fucking lying, take his little Xbox controller and shove it up his ass. Because I'm on youtube.com/KindaFunnyPlays right now. I'm on uploads, sorted by most recent. Yesterday, Zelda. That's because I was sick. It wasn't going to be WWE, I understand. Day before that, Zelda. Day before that, Fortnite. Okay. Day before that, Greg Miller Podcast-a-thon. Then we got Mario. Then we got more wrestling. Then we got GTA Online. Then we got Zelda. Then we got Shredders. Then we got GTA Online. Then we got Nickelodeon, some bullshit. Then we got my face thing. Then we got First Time Zelda. Then we got Elden Ring. Then we got Wheelbarrow or Barrow. This is what's fucking getting put on this channel. Then we got Metal Gear Rising. Then we got Puzzle Quest 3. Then we got Elden Ring Co-op. Then we got Elden Ring Co-op. Then we got this. Then we got Elden Ring again. Where's all the Fortnite, Mike, that you say is happening, that there's too much Fortnite?
This is Mike's nightmare.
Turn on my fucking system right now and making sure it's updated.
Greg, did you know it wasn't Wheelbarrow?
Yeah, Wheelbarrow. It's a barrow.
The fuck's a barrow? Don't act like you know what a barrow is. Exactly. All right, so a barrel is a thing that I assume the first wheelbarrow came to existence. Someone cut a barrel in half and was like, oh, there you go.
Sure,
you got it, Steve. Put some dirt in there. Stick a wheel in the
bottom. Steve. I missed you, Kevin.
I missed you too, bud. I'm glad you got all the demons out.
Oh, no, they're still in me. Don't worry about that.
Yeah?
Clicking on playing. Still showing Spidey. That can't be good, right?
I don't know what
Whatever.
that means. Oh, well, you just have to hit update. Yeah.
We'll see what happens. It's doing its thing over there. Ladies and gentlemen. No, where'd Roper go? I was gonna say for the Roper report, man.
I think he's maybe turning on his TV or something. I don't know. I flipped the camera, so I don't know if he went to the bathroom or not.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Now I'm downloading the patch. I'm good. We got it.
Sorry. I had to plug in my PS5 HDMI.
Now, what I mean, I don't know if you noticed, they have a Mary Jane skin if you want to play as Mary Jane.
I'm seeing that now. Yeah.
Big deal. Big deal happening over here. All right.
So we still doing the show or?
Yeah. Sorry about that. Number 3. Yeah. Number 3, like Fortnite sticking with, like I said. Oh wait, I had a whole transition that I obviously have lost. Fortnite sticking with no build mode as we talk about. But for number 3, WWE sticking with 2K. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. There's a lot of drama a few weeks ago, right before or around the release of WWE 2K22, where it was like basically WWE went and talked to EA and was like, "Yo, these people keep fucking it up, and if they fuck it up, we might want to work with you." WWE 2K Games put out the tweet. Kevin, if you want to click on that and show it, that was basically like, don't worry about that, everybody. They write, shout out to WWE and Stephanie McMahon for the continued partnership and an amazing launch of WWE 2K22. Here's to many more years of success. Hashtag it hits different. Obviously, the takeaway there would be that all's settled. Since WWE 2K22 is a great game and everybody's enjoying it, don't worry. They're going to continue going with it and still stay with 2K. Tim, what's that mean to you?
I mean, hey, good for them. They pulled it off and they did it. And I am very, very surprised that that's the case, especially with everything that was going into 2K22 as it was coming up, right? Like taking the year off didn't seem like it was going to be enough. The first kind of teases of the game looked really rough. People weren't excited for it, especially after the trash fire that was 2K20, right? Like that was such a low point for a franchise that already hadn't had a high point in a while.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But for it to come out and kind of like be at the very least good enough, I think is a major surprise to a lot of people. And I think that the team over there clearly gives a shit and wanted to kind of turn the tide. For me, it's not necessarily the best news because I would love to see WWE kind of be given an entirely new lease on life. Like give it to a different team. Don't have all just the trimmings and stuff that people expect of a 2K game. But at the same time, I am not the target audience. And it seems like people, the people that love the WWE 2K games are loving this. And that's a major success. And they did it. And I think that them celebrating this way is actually pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm with you. You know, I've been vocal before that I had wished when THQ went away, that WWE went in a completely different direction, started from scratch. And when we didn't get that and they went to 2K and it's been what it's been, I've been along for that ride, right? And 2K22, man, like that's a special WWE game. It's one that I am still playing, that I'm still anxious and eager to turn on, right? I have a interview with somebody after that'll take me away from Fortnite with you guys, but before then the plan had been to answer some emails and then do a little bit of my faction or do a little bit of whatever and hang out in there. You know, we were supposed to stream it yesterday for me, and we plan to stream it, me and Mike, a lot more coming forward and making using olive parties, creating kind of funny wrestlers and doing stuff and having, feuds and things. And I can't wait to do more of that. And I haven't felt like that with a wrestling game in forever. So I'm stoked that WWE 2K22 was great. I am hopeful that the fact that they have crashed and burned already and they understand that does make them sit there and go, okay, let's make 23 and 24 and 25 better and better and better and actually double down to that. And maybe don't do a manualized, maybe do figure out, the right way to do this, whatever the new right way to do it is. And so it's that weird thing of like, I would love to see someone else do the WWE games and blah, 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 blah. But like, it also would have been then we've done this before where, okay, cool. It goes to EA and that first game is incredibly feature bare. Maybe the wrestling's good. They've got that nailed, but the roster isn't as good as it should be. The game modes aren't as good and then you see them slowly start to build back up. And then you build up to a point where you become what 2K was before this, which is just, the same fucking thing over and over and over again. Yeah, bloated, too much stuff going on.
Yeah, it's interesting, and I think that keeping our eyes peeled on that AEW game is going to be a lot of fun. It's like there's hope, but at the same time, I don't think that anyone expects that to actually recapture the magic that we remember from the old days. But like, I don't know that that's possible, right? So it's kind of like just do your own thing, do a modern version, and I do think the people over there working on the AEW game. I think their problem isn't going to be the passion and understanding of what the game needs to be. I think it's going to be the budget and
100%.
the resources that are going into it. But what you were just saying about the let's start feature bear and then iterate on that, like I think that the AEW game has a chance to kind of come out and wow the people it needs to wow, which at the end of the day I think is the ultimate goal for that game, right? It's not to set the world on fire and be the best, highest selling wrestling game in the last 10 years. It's just to speak to the audience that wants that type of experience.
Yeah, I had done on Games Daily last week, maybe the beginning of this week, I forget what, but this comicbook.com article by Cal Kestis, AEW video game details finally emerged, confirming popular mode and publisher status. And it's an article that actually made me go, ooh, because I like in terms of what was being said, because they have a bunch of interviews in here. Like they're still looking for a publisher, and that's fine or whatever. But it was like Kenny Omega recently spoke with the Wrestling Observer and explained how AEW's first game will differ from the WWE 2K22, which just dropped last week. He said, quote, "It is coming along, though, and for us, at least for me, there's a large emphasis on just the wrestling aspect of the game. We want the wrestling, too, and it's tough to get that balance, but we want it to feel like how a match would flow within a video game. So the matches will probably in general, go a little quicker, but we want them to feel like the user is able to assume the role of long story short, as they continue going on, he talks about how they won't be able to do this or that, and they can't compete with WWE here. It sounds like they are kind of right now talking about a game that I just told you I thought an EA game would be, which is like we are focusing on the wrestling. There won't be as many modes and things around it, but we will have this thing, and you can create your person, but it's about this thing, right?
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
You ever play Rumble Roses, Greg?
I remember this. This is the female wrestling game?
Yeah.
I think I played it for a little bit. Not long enough to, have an opinion about it. Why, you remember it well?
Good or not? No, not well. I remember we rented it a couple times. I just don't remember if it was good or not, because that was that weird era where it's like, yeah, it's a weird concept. Everything about it's weird, but it was made by Ukes. Yeah, this is interesting. I'm looking at this later.
Back to the Kenny Omega thing. We'll never be able to compete with the production value of WWE's game. You look at 2K22 and it's absolutely gorgeous. So I'm excited to see all their bells and whistles when it finally releases. This is obviously before. But for us, rather than pushing the envelope massively or anything like that, we just want wrestling to feel like how it used to feel for the people who would play wrestling games back in the day and just have fun with fellow wrestling fans, or, people that just want to have fun with their buddies. We'll see.
We'll see.
I want some modes in there. I want some stuff in there. All right. No Mercy had some modes.
No Mercy had modes, everybody. No Mercy, but yes, modes.
Yeah.
That's all I got for you today.
It's all I needed from you. And all I need from you, ladies and gentlemen, watching live or listening later, is go to patreon.com/KindaFunnyGames. Over on patreon.com/KindaFunnyGames, you can write in with your questions, comments, and concerns. You can get the post show we do. You can get all these benefits and more for PS I Love You, the Xcast, and the Gamescast. But most important to you right now is that you could go there to get this show ad-free. But you're not on patreon.com/KindaFunnyGames. So here's a word from our sponsors. Jack! Every day you got to get up, worry about work, worry about your family, worry about when you're playing games. It's too much. So remove the stress for shopping for clothes with Cuts Clothing. Cuts Clothing has perfected the art and science of men's shirts, so now you can throw on one look and look great without ever having to think about it. Plus, Cuts has all the essentials for looking sharp, like tees, hoodies, polos, and more, so you can stop bouncing between brands and shopping for different shirts. Tim Geddes loves Cuts. He went online, found the blues he loved, and then had them shipped to his door so he can go get haircuts and stare at electronics knowing he looks great. Cuts has totally revolutionized the traditional outdated t-shirt category. They make it easy to mix and match styles and colors so you can find the perfect style. They even developed their own fabric that's soft as hell and guaranteed not to pill or shrink. Join hundreds of thousands of guys who have made the simple decision to elevate their wardrobe with Cuts. Get 15% off your first order by going to cutsclothing.com/kindafunny. That's CUTS clothing.com/kindafunny for 15% off the only shirt worth wearing. All right, guys, let's talk about skincare. If your skincare routine is basically you washing your face in the shower with that one shower gel you've been using since high school, then it's time to level up your skincare game. But thanks to Lumen, you can drop that bottle of 3-in-1 and start using products that actually take care of your skin. All their products aim to help with those stubborn acne scars, under-eye dark circles, wrinkles, sun damage, dry skin, oily skin, and more. Starting with Lumen is easy. All you have to do is take their 2-minute quiz on their website, and they'll tell you exactly what routine is best for you based on your skincare skincare needs. Plus, all their products are made using only natural ingredients that actually work. Guys, I swear, skincare shouldn't be that complicated thing we dread doing, and thanks to Lumen, it's simple. It takes you less than 90 seconds of your day. It's easy, and you'll have skin as smooth as Kevin Coelho's shaved cheeks. Level up your skincare game with Lumen Skin today. Go to lumenskin.com/kindafunny to get your free trial of Lumen's products. That's LUMIN skin.com/kindafunny to get your free trial of Lumen's products. That's lumenskin.com/kindafunny. This, of course, is one of my favorite sponsors of all time. It's Honey, ladies and gentlemen. When you're shopping online, it's easy to save money on your iPhone or computer. Honey is the free shopping tool that scours the internet for promo codes and applies the best one it finds to your cart. Imagine you're shopping on one of your favorite sites. When you check out, the Honey button appears, and all you have to do is click Apply Coupons. Wait a few seconds as Honey searches for coupons it can find for that site, and if Honey finds a working coupon, you'll watch your prices drop. Here's, ladies and gentlemen, where I go and I hit pause on the ad because I use Honey all the time. This is my Google Chrome, and right there is the Honey button. You install it there. You can use it on your iPhone too, but it's great. It saves you money, and then if you're logged into, it accrues Honey coins that you can then spend on gift cards and stuff all the time. But then just yesterday, I was buying some Mizzou stuff off the internet. Guess what? There it is. I don't even think about it. Honey just pops up, little dancing coin. He's like, you want me to save you some money? And I'm like, yes, you do. If you don't already have Honey, you could be straight up missing out. And by getting it, you'll be doing yourself a solid and supporting this show. I'd never recommend something I don't use, so get Honey for free at joinhoney.com/kinda. That's joinhoney.com/. Number 4 on the Roper Report, Xbox Game Pass Ultimate now includes Marvel Unlimited. This is Wesley Leblac over at Game Informer. Xbox Game Pass Ultimate is Microsoft's monthly subscription that gives players access to not just Xbox Game Pass on consoles, but also PC Game Pass and Xbox Live Gold. Now, alongside its other features, it includes 3 months of Marvel Unlimited. Marvel Unlimited is Marvel's comic book subscription service that, like what Game Pass is for games, gives users access to tons of comics on devices like their phones, tablets, and more. In fact, in the trailer announcing this news, Marvel boasts that there are now more than 29,000 digital comics on the service. However, one important thing to note is that you must be a new Marvel Unlimited subscriber to take advantage of this deal. If you already have a subscription or have had one in the past, you will not be able to take advantage of these 3 free months of comics on the account. However, you could always create a new Marvel Unlimited account over on you could always create a new Marvel Unlimited account, period. Over on the Xbox side of things, fortunately, this deal applies to both existing and new Ultimate subscribers.
Yeah, it's interesting. I don't like when the trials are like, oh, if you've done a trial before, you can't do it again. Like, I get it. It makes sense, but it is always a bummer. I love that Xbox Game Pass has been really kind of experimenting with these type of deals of collaborating with Disney Plus or Marvel Unlimited. And like they've done this a couple times. I think even now they have a thing with Paramount Plus so that you can watch Halo if you just wanted to do a trial of that. So it's like, it's cool to for them to try to like get even more value for their gaming subscription service when they know that their system is not just used for gaming, right? Like I think that this is kind of the right way to
add value
and approach the dream that Xbox presented back in the Xbox One days, of like the whole it's one Xbox in your entertainment system and all that stuff of like it's where you watch TV and movies and all this stuff. It's like, well, the reality is a lot of people do actually use their Xbox for that. So this is a great way to incentivize people to do it even more and keep them in that ecosystem when they're not playing games. So that's cool. On top of that, Marvel Unlimited is pretty dope. Like the content it actually allows you to go back and read now is like really, really, really cool. And that wasn't always the case. Like Marvel Unlimited used to kind of just be like, all right, cool. If you want to read comics from 15 years ago, you're fine, but anything else, you're kind of screwed. It's gotten to the point that most things are there. And especially as we're leading into this amazing era we're in, where every couple months we're getting a new MCU project, whether it's the shows on Disney Plus or the movies, it's like, it's a perfect time for this to come out a week before Moon Knight. So people can kind of get in, read some of the more popular Moon Knight runs and all of that. Like, that's very cool.
I have Marvel Unlimited, but I really only use it for old stuff. And on top of that, with Benjamin, I haven't read comics in forever. What is it still like a 6-month window between what the new stuff is?
I think it's 3-month window, okay, which is still a lot. But with the way that comics kind of work, and I know you know this, Greg, but it's like it's so if you're keeping up with stuff like month to month to month, like you're a dedicated person, and like I feel like you're the type of for better or worse, they know they're going to get money out of you, and they need money out of you, right? Like you need to support comic books or else they're not going to exist. So they kind of need to count on those early adopters to kind of keep things going. And I kind of feel like there is that rush of getting the new story as soon as it drops and like counting down the days until the issue comes out, or if we're being honest, counting down the days till it's supposed to come out and then it gets delayed a little bit, because I don't think I've ever in the history of my life read a comic book series that a monthly comic book series that actually was monthly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it always ends up getting delayed for some reason. But it's art, so cool.
It's usually art.
Yeah, exactly. But going back and kind of being able to binge these runs, even things that are fairly recent, right? Like 3 months is not that long.
3 months, it's 3 issues. Big deal.
Yeah, so I think it's really cool. I do hate the way that the app's accounts work. It's still cumbersome as all shit, and like just logging in always gives me problems. Like, oh, the password is this, my user ID and password is this on my iPhone, but if I'm trying to do it on a computer for some reason, it's an email, not a user ID, and I'm like, okay, well, what's, you know what I mean? It's like there's always like dumb shit like that, but for anybody that has Xbox Game Pass Ultimate and is at all interested in comics, test this out. It's a super cool thing, and there's so much content to go back and get addicted to, especially with Moon Knight coming out, Miss Marvel coming out, all that. There's like a lot of really worthwhile runs to go back and kind of just dip your toe into comics if you haven't really done that before.
100%. Yeah. I wish it applied to everybody, but I think the fact that it's there is great. And just create a new email if you want to catch on something, for a little bit for 3 months. Number 5 on the road report is, are you about to get a Rainbow Six mobile game? We're going to go to Tom Henderson over at Exputer, who writes, Ubisoft will be revealing its next mobile game next month on April 6th, 2022. Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege Mobile. The game, which has been in development in collaboration with WeGame, Tencent, will make its debut with a video game trailer and coverage by the media. Rumors of a Rainbow Six Siege mobile title began to circulate last year after Ubisoft Halifax sent out a playtest survey targeted to mobile gamers on how familiar they are with Rainbow Six Siege. In addition, hints to the release were made during Tencent's fourth quarterly earnings call yesterday, putting the term, quote, projects with Ubisoft under the 2023 timeline, suggesting that the game could be released in 2023. One source who has seen a behind-the-scenes presentation described the game as being, quote, massive for the mobile market and, quote, it will be a mobile game that Siege fans will love, end quote.
Cool.
That's what we're all looking for.
Man. I'm so intrigued on their plans and what they're going to do and where they're going to be in a couple years. Cause I feel like Ubi is one of the bigger publishers out there, right? Like when you're thinking about third party guys out there, like they are some of the only remaining ones of that size. And because Bethesda, Activision gobbled up, so Ubi is kind of like the last remaining one of its type, right? Like there's the Square Enixes and all of that, but I feel like Ubi kind of has a different vibe to it, and that vibe has been created by what we think of as a Ubisoft game with all the checklists and towers and all that, but then also being backed up by things like this, mobile games and tactics games people aren't really asking for, and like that type of stuff, right? Where does this all kind of converge? I saw someone tweet at me yesterday talking about Prince of Persia. Like, where's it at? And it's so crazy that a game was announced, the remake, with a release date that was like 2-3 months out or whatever, and here we are 2 years later. And like obviously that game had issues and a lot of things going against it, but yeah, it's hard for you to be excited about Ubisoft right now.
How long till they get bought by PlayStation?
I don't see that happening.
Okay.
Do you?
No, I don't know. I mean, first off, anything can fucking happen.
Anything can happen.
Yeah.
I think that if anyone were to buy Ubisoft, I don't think anyone's buying Ubisoft. I do not see that in the future. At least in the next 10 years. I also definitely don't see it being PlayStation. Like that would be crazy.
But I got to swing back at Xbox, right? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't think that they actually do need to swing back. Like I don't think I know. Yeah, and I don't think that they're even thinking about that way, because it's not this tit for tat type of war game situation, right? But
yeah,
Ubi does represent a large part of the sales of video games every year, and a big part of that is the multi-platform. I mean, they're the multi-platform guys, right? Like that's what games they make. It's like the whole point of them is multi-platform. Like I'm just pulling this out of my ass right now, and you're wrong me if I'm wrong about this, but like we don't often get exclusive Ubisoft games, right?
No. I mean, what you go to Mario Rabbids or whatever, like that's an exclusive one.
I guess that,
but obviously that's going to be exclusive for a reason. Yeah, oh yeah, there's exceptions for the rule for sure. Yeah.
But it's like you look at like Square, right, or Capcom, and like those the other bigger third parties that are left as third parties, and they do exclusive deals left and right, and always have. So I just think that's interesting. But I mean, that would be a shake up and change up for sure. But I don't know that it'd be necessarily a positive one.
Yeah, you ask, Ubisoft, you don't know about them or what are they doing? Like, it's all about, trying to, I would assume these deals and these announcements are all about trying to stay relevant. You know what I mean? You talk about the fact that they are one of the few third parties that are out there making multi-platform games, right? The way to keep doing that is, you have to keep growing, and we see their stock shareholder shit all the time, right? Like they need to be making these announcements and they need to chase things. So, mobile games are something that, either people really connect with or they hate, and so you want to see if you can do this. Can you break through? Like PUBG Mobile did see success, right? There are games that Call of Duty one saw success. Like there's ways to have a successful mobile game and find that audience and reach people you're not reaching. Because right now, if you're you're listening to the show, you have an opinion about Ubisoft games, and they either connect for you or don't connect for you, right? And sure, there's different franchises in there and things like that, but you have your own thing. But there's a bunch of mobile gamers who don't have that and don't have that opinion on it. And so where do you go? It's the same thing where, as much as we all hate NFTs and stuff, the fact that they try to do that Ghost Recon NFT thing made sense because NFT is this new thing. They want to make money. They want to grow their market share. They want to continue to be viable, right? Like it's not so long ago, right, that they were, getting chased and Vivendi was trying to buy them up, right? Remember that? And like that, that was what changed Ubisoft and really put them on the path to who they are now and what they are now. But that was a real thing that they were fighting off this, hostile takeover. And it was, of course, that they just weren't, worth enough or whatever. So like they had to diversify, and they've diversified in such an interesting way that they continue to, but then it also, I would say inarguably waters down their brand to many, where what a Ubisoft game is. And Greg Miller loves lots of Ubisoft games, but who doesn't hate that? And then, they're going to chase a mobile, they're going to chase an NFT, they're going to chase whatever the next buzzword is and try to make it happen.
Yeah. Everyone keep your eye on Ubisoft. I think no matter what, there will be shakeups and changes happening in the next couple of years. Like I think that they can't just maintain the way that they're going for so many reasons, least of which being all the horrible workplace stuff that's been going on the last couple of years. It's like that stuff is coming to a head. Like it is. And they are going to have to address it in a more real way than they have been, especially as the industry around them continues to call people out rightfully and move towards this better united front against that bullshit, so I think that combined with the sales not being what they used to be, and again, it's not like Ubisoft failing, they're like trailing behind or anything, and like them being the last kind of beacon of this multi-platform, putting out 10 games a year that are on all consoles, like the industry kind of needs that in a way, right? Like just to at least to maintain how they've always functioned. But maybe we're going to see a shift to an industry that doesn't need that. I mean, I can totally imagine a world where a streaming service ends up buying Ubisoft, and maybe that's a way that it maintains being multi-platform in a way where, what if it was like the Amazon's like Amazon Luna or something, like Amazon Games kind of just buys them up, and then you can play them on the different systems using the subscription service or whatever it is, because we're seeing so much more of that, right? And that's where it's like I don't see PlayStation kind of getting in on that level, because I think that a lot of the benefits of acquiring different developers and publishers would be the IP to Sony, as opposed to all of the monetization stuff that Ubisoft, I think, is kind of like the value is there, right? And that kind of leads itself more to subscription-based things like a Game Pass.
I could see it. But then you talk about the IP. Come on. PlayStation first party, Prince of Persia. Let them go.
I mean, dude, for real. So Rayman, like the potential, it would be amazing. I would love to see what that potentially could be. I just think that when you start to be real about looking at what actually would happen from that, I just don't see the value there when PlayStation already has those games on their consoles via third party.
Sure. But you got to worry about Phil buying it. Phil's going to come through and dump money on. You'll never have those games again. And that's the scare tactic.
Mm-hmm.
Number 6 on the Roper Report. You're getting an NFL VR game every year, apparently. This is Ryan Dinsdale at IGN. The NFL has announced a VR football game set to release each year for MetaQuest and PlayStation VR. The annual franchise is being made in partnership with Status Pro, a sports technology company whose virtual and augmented reality products are used by the actual NFL teams. Unlike current football VR games, such as 2MD VR football and the Patrick Mahomes experience, which are more arcade than simulation, this new fully licensed game promises a realistic experience that makes players feel like a professional NFL player. No release date or gameplay was revealed with the announcement, but considering that the NFL and Status Pro didn't even release the game's name, this didn't even reel, but I assume he means release the game's name. It's likely a long way away. I don't want to play football in VR. Like a lot of things I like doing in VR, you know what I mean, Tim? But like getting in there and like doing a simulation of football in VR does not sound like a good time. I'm a QB. I'm having to run. I'm having to catch this thing. I don't like it.
No.
Annualized too? Come on.
Yeah, that seems unnecessary. But I'm not a big football person, but I don't see why it wouldn't be fun. Because isn't a lot of it just kind of huddling down there? People yell numbers, throw the ball around you.
Some of these things happen in football. Yeah, 100%.
That sounds like it could be kind of fun in VR.
I don't want to huddle up with people in VR. All right. No, thank you. I just want to sit there and control my robot or be whatever. Number 7 on the Roper Report and final. You can get Cal Kestis' lightsaber at Galaxy's Edge pretty much right now. Not right now, but now. Kevin got open. Become a Jedi. Thanks to your votes, the Cal Kestis Legacy lightsaber hilt will be available at Star Wars Galaxy's Edge starting March 25th. And so as you scroll through here, Kev, you of course see Monahan, right? Going through with his lightsaber here, doing his thing. He's getting it set up. He's down at the workshop having this. Tim, we built lightsabers.
We did build lightsabers at Galaxy's Edge. And also, Greg, I don't know if you remember, but we hung out with that man in that place.
We did.
That was cool.
What's his first name? Why am I blanking on his first name?
I actually don't remember.
Monahan. It's in there, Kevin.
Oh, Dominic, right?
No, that Dominic Monahan's from Lost.
It's a different person. You're right.
Cameron. Thank you, Chad. Cameron Monahan.
Thank you.
The man who plays Cal Kestis, of course, in Fallen Order, is getting his lightsaber. And this is the thing. Remember, we were down there when we built lightsabers. It was during a Star Wars Fallen Order event. And then, of course, I fell in love with building my own lightsaber. And then I fell in love with this character and this lightsaber. And then if you remember, I have the lightsaber. I have the hilt that the EA sent me for like the press pack. Then I have the one that was made by the one kind of funny fan. And then I'm going to go buy this one for sure.
Oh,
for sure. Next time we're down there, I'm 1000% making this as well. I don't care if it's my third one. I don't give a shit.
Well, this isn't making it. These are the super dope, like the legacy lightsabers. So this is like an amazing recreation of his. You don't get. To
so I don't need to make it.
No.
Oh. Explain more then. I don't understand. So these are like when like in this. Okay, go ahead.
In the store, yeah, in the store they have them all in the display case.
Yeah.
This is now going to be in the case, which is fucking cool.
And then I still
canonizing it.
I still choose my Kyber crystal to put in there, right, for change the light or whatever.
Yeah, you should be able to do that because it would still have just the generic tube. We're not talking about those crazy ass hotel lightsabers yet. Not yet. Now, here's the brilliant part of Disney showing it how to get more and more and more money out of you. This comes from the blog that Kevin had pulled up, right? Those familiar with Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order will recognize the broken end design since Cal Kestis acquires the lightsaber after the weapon is badly damaged and is only capable of emitting a single blade. When you purchase this distinct lightsaber hilt, it comes with a dual lightsaber adapter. So you can recreate the original double-bladed design reminiscent of when the lightsaber was owned by Cal's master, Jaro Tapal, when you purchased the second hilt. Bad. Look at these motherfuckers just figuring out their way to get your money. So that's really cool. But guess what, Greg? This is cool to me for one extra reason. March 25th. Wait, no color change, everybody's saying. No color change in the chat saying. So this happening, right? Getting a little bit more of that mainstream Disneyland reverence for Cal Kestis is exciting to me because all signs are pointing to this May Star Wars Celebration getting a little bit of that tease of Jedi Fallen Order 2. Yeah. Then you got to imagine later in the summer, we'll probably get some gameplay of that. And then later this fall, Greg, we're probably going to return to the world of Cal Kestis. in Star Wars, and I'm very excited. I want that very badly.
I want that very, very badly as well. But Tim, it's so far away. If I wanted something more immediate, say what came to the mom and grab shops, where would I go?
The official list of upcoming software across each and every platform is listed by the Kind of Funny Games Daily Show host each and every weekday.
Yeah. Out today, a Memoir Blue on all the PlayStations, all the Xboxes, Switch, and PC. Relayer on all the PlayStations. The Ascent on all the PlayStations. Expedition Zero on PC. Lumote, the Master Mote Chronicles on PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and Stadia. Norco on PC. Pusheep on PC. Super Nanaru on Switch and PC. The Lost and the Wicked on PC. The Smart Factory Tycoon on PC. The Planet Crafter on PC. Turnip Boy Commits Tax Evasion releases on the Epic Game Store. Mecha Jammer, the Refracted update is now out on PC. PUBG Battlegrounds update 9.2 is now live. Then a GTA update online for you. Hot on the heels of its launch on PS5 and Xbox Series X/S, GTA Online is delivering extra rewards for those looking to push the limits of their rides on the latest generation of consoles. With triple GTA bucks and RP in this week's House Specials Works Time Trial, and double GTA money and RP across the 14 tracks of House Special Works Race Series. In addition, all the GTA Online players can now earn double in Madrazo contract missions and double down adversary mode featuring Lamar and Franklin. New dates for you. Terraformers lands on PC Early Access April 21st. And then Psyonix, the San Diego video game developer, and Automobili Lamborghini announced that new Lamborghini Couch Tac LPI 800-4 will be available in Rocket League beginning March 30th.
Good old Couch Tac.
Get the old couch tag. Get out of here, you dorks. Deals of the day for you. Xbox free play days have been announced for the weekend. Mysteries in Action will turn your world upside down this weekend in free play days. Lost Judgment, Before We Leave, and Far Cry 6 are all available this weekend for Xbox Live Gold and Xbox Game Pass Ultimate members to play from Thursday right now until Sunday, March 27th at, I guess we'll say it, Monday, 12:01, March 28th is when that'll end. Tim?
Mm-hmm.
We ask people watching live on twitch.tv/KindaFunnyGames to go to KindaFunny.com/you're wrong and tell us what we screw up as we screw it up so we can set the record straight for everybody watching later on youtube.com/KindaFunnyGames, roosterteeth.com, and listening on podcast services around the globe. Parks43 writes in and says, additional info on the Marvel Ultimate Game Pass deal. Only available in the US and US territories, so international Game Pass members won't see the benefit. That's on you for not living here in America. All right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Not gonna read that one, but okay, good. All right. That's it then. We nailed it. Crushed it. Killed it. Congratulations to us. I give my performance maybe 6.57 out of 10. You know what I mean? I'm not all there yet, but I'll be there.
But yeah, I enjoyed it though.
For sure.
Yeah, I'd go 7.5.
Yeah.
I mean, what about the Kind of Funny scale?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's not go there.
4, I guess.
Great.
3. Okay. What do you got? What do you got?
No, forget it. You know, every once in a while you're about to say something and then you realize the ramifications of what I'm about to say aren't worth the joke. They're just not worth it. So I'm just not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. Instead, Greg,
you had that
I'm going to have a positive, fantastic day with all of you. What are we about to do? Are we about to play some Fortnite? I know me and Greg are about to figure out what we're doing with the post show. There's a Batman deleted scene we need to react to at some point. I don't know what's going on.
Is it out?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's IGN put it up on Twitter. Yeah.
So we're gonna have to watch it. We're gonna have to react to it. So
I feel like we have to do that. Yeah, right after this.
Yeah,
like we'll do the post show.
Mm-hmm.
We'll say yak to Barrett, and then we can go react to it.
Me and Mike just hang out for a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you handle that? Can you update Mike, Kev? Can you let him know what's going on? That we're gonna.
He's watching, but yeah, I'll try. Can you request a thing then?
We're gonna have to figure out. We don't know who's gonna be on it, so I'll pop the. Yeah, we'll figure it out.
All right.
Cool.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Kind of Funny Games Daily. Each and every weekday, we come to you with the nerdy news you need to know about. Tomorrow, Blessing and I will be here to close out the week, unless he's still sick from taking back the night, and then we'll figure it out and get somebody else in here for you. Remember, if you want to watch that, you can watch it on youtube.com/KindaFunnyGames, roosterteeth.com, podcast services around the globe. You can watch it on twitch.tv/KindaFunnyGames as we record it, but we'd appreciate it if you watched it on patreon.com/KindaFunnyGames, where, of course, a few bucks gets you the ability to watch it with no ads. You get the post show. You get to write in with your own questions, comments, concerns. You can be a Patreon producer, and you can have a great time. Ladies and gentlemen, until next time, It's been a pleasure to serve you.